1420 Sports Podcast, Four Beer with Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. June the 26th, episode 212, brought to you by Manscaped and manscaped.com. Dave, you're out in your backyard, your house in Lethbridge there. I thought we'd do something different. I'm at beautiful Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge, Alberta, watching the Lethbridge Bulls take on the Fort McMurray Giants. The fourth inning, the sun's shining, and so am I, Dave. My God, what a beautiful weekend we've had here in Lethbridge, Alberta. Sports and baseball and dragon boats and everything else going on. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. It's actually in the afternoon, or a very
afternoon.
Rare...
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's quite all right. Afternoon, weekend, Sunday afternoons in the summer. Sunday afternoons are my favorite days of the week, regardless of season. Either I'm inside cooking, watching football, or I'm outside. The chores are done, and now it's a little bit of dad time. And we're going to mix in a podcast today, and I couldn't be more happy to be sitting outside in the glorious southern Alberta weather.
No, it's fantastic. The flags here at Spitz are barely waving in the outfield there. It's just a fantastic night. I'm in the Canadian Brewhouse Beer Gardens here at Spitz. It's just a nice day. The game, it's a little lackluster today, 7-7 in the fourth, so it's dragging a little bit the WCBL. But anyways, Dave, a few screaming hot takes before we get going on the program today. Game 6 of the National Hockey League playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals is tonight with the Tampa Bay Lightning at home to the Colorado Avalanche. I don't know who's going to win Game 6, Dave, but I'm going to tell you who's going to win Game 7. If this goes 7, Tampa Bay wins.
I think you might be right. I believe my prediction was Colorado in 6 to start things off. 2 overtime games, 1 blowout. That I will say this, if my team has to win to advance, I don't think there's a goalie around I'd rather have than Vasilevsky. God, that kid, he's not a kid. God, that guy is money.
He seems to come up clutch. We've talked about it ad nauseum almost on the show lately, and I mean, I haven't followed the Tampa Bay Lightning that much since we started this show, or since they started winning Stanley Cups. But my God, he just seems to come up clutch. He's the best goalie in hockey, and that's just the way it is. My second screaming hot take is, and it's not even a hot take. We talked about it, I can't remember, about a year ago. It might have been this year. No hitters with more than one pitcher don't mean fuck all. It's unfortunate. It's shitty for the team that got no hit, but the team that originally got the no hitter on paper, they shouldn't be jumping up and down like they won the World Series. Yes, it was the Yankees, I get it, but if it's 3 and 4 and 5 guys who get it, it doesn't mean anything. It's more of a detriment against the team that got no hit, the team that got the no hitter.
It's like celebrating a team cycle. I got a single, you got a double, he got a triple, you got a home run. Let's all like have a little quick circle jerk here and tell us how great we are.
And that's what it was like yesterday. Watching the Astros do that, I was a little embarrassed for them by jumping around like they won the World Series. So what? It's unfortunate the Yankees got no hit, and then they were getting no hit till the 7th day, till Stanton hit a home run, and then out of the depths of despair, they come up back and win the game 6-3. So they split the series with the Houston Astros. Still got the best record in baseball, so that's a good thing on my end. Dave, it's just a lot going on. Not a lot going on in the world of sports, but just enough to keep us going. But one thing I did notice is that on Friday night, you seen Colorado after the game was done. You seen McKinnon a little bit down, and you seen Nazem Kadri, who played with the Leafs for a lot of years, a little bit down, and Makar, like he's not getting bolted up like he did in the first 3 rounds. They're not talking about him nearly as much as they were, the next incarnate of Bobby Orr. But the thing that I thought right when the game was over, Dave, is how hard it is not just to win, but how hard it is to be relevant. And then I got thinking, if you go down with your franchise and you're not relevant for a number of years, how hard it is to bring your team back up. Man, winning a championship's tough, man.
Winning a championship is hard, and the saying is, to be the man, you got to beat the man. That's exactly what Colorado is coming up against right now. because even though it's only like 0.75 cups uh, that Tampa Bay has won,
Yeah.
they are the man. And they know what it takes, and they've been in this situation a lot longer than Colorado. Colorado's been in this situation in rounds 1 and round 2, but they haven't been in this situation, and they've lost. But
Yeah.
now this is the first time it's for all the marbles. And I don't know. The last time I won a championship, I think I was like a provincial championship. I might have been 18 or 19, and that was a provincial championship. Now this is a professional championship,
This
and you
is
know what?
champion of
The
the world,
team
man.
that
I
we
don't care if they
played
have a
and
world
won,
championship in hockey, but this is the world championship to me.
it's the single best league of what you do
Yeah.
right now, and it's a team sport and a team that knows what to do to be there. We're gonna see either tonight or on Tuesday, I guess. We're gonna see what's stronger, the Pat Maroon mojo or the Corey Perry jinx. And I'm really hoping for that Corey Perry jinx, but I still think I still think Colorado has the horses, but you know, the Leafs have shown us that a 3-1 lead ain't safe.
She ain't safe. It was a cold night in whatever month in 2013 in April of 2013 where they were up 3-1 and then up 4-1 in the game where the Leafs blew it, the whole thing. But it's quite astonishing that everybody was counting Colorado to win the Stanley Cup 2 nights ago before the game started, and now there's a lot of people saying, "Oh man, it's funny how the tides turn with perception of people and everything else, because everybody to a man that I've talked to is thinking Tampa's going to win this series, because they're saying they're at home tonight. They are the champions. They're going to win at home, and there's no getting around that.
I disagree. I think Colorado's like I've said before, Colorado is the single best team by a margin that they faced to win a cup.
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out. But I do think that in professional sports, the fact that Tampa has been there before, Tampa knows what it's like to leave the playoffs in embarrassing fashion, as they did against Columbus a couple years back. They know what it's like to win fake championships. Let's see if they can win a real championship.
It's just funny, Dave, how it's so hard to win, and people forget that, and how hard it is to win. Like you look at after the Avalanche disposed of Edmonton in 4 straight, and you build through the draft, and you build through free agency, and you build and you build and you build and you hope. It takes one injury, it takes one guy not having a good season. Any number of things come into effect. Disgruntled players, all of it. It's so hard to win at any level in professional sports. You just it's tough. And you get guys like, you look at the Brooklyn Nets, they went and got 3 players. They thought we're gonna have world championships for 3-4 years. Turned like COVID had something to do with it, and disgruntled guys and too much money and everything else. It's just so fucking hard to win. Like, you could have the best player in the world, like in hockey. Baseball's hard to win because you don't know what your pitching staff's going to do on a day in, day out basis. But it's just so hard to win at any level.
It is so hard to win, and I think hockey's the most different than any other sport, because you know, in baseball, a team does get hot. Teams get hot all the time, and to run into a buzzsaw where things are working and everybody's hot at the same time, it just doesn't work that way with hockey, because there's just too many moving parts. There's just too many guys.
Your fourth line has to be serviceable.
Yeah, there's just so many parts that have to contribute, and like, if you're not contributing at absolute fucking minimum, you don't hurt the team. And then that starts with the goalie, and it goes to the 4th line, and it works its way up. To turn back the clock way back, like I remember in 84, 85, whatever, when the Oilers made their first Stanley Cup, the great Oiler team with Mess and Gretz and those guys, and they made it to the Stanley Cup, and they lost to the New York Islanders. And Islanders won their 4th in a row. And then the Oilers won the next year against the Islanders. They broke their streak in the drive for 5. And I think it was I don't know if it was Gretzky. It was a group interview where they talked about the Oilers and like what's different this year. Losing to the Islanders taught them a lesson. Like they saw how the Islanders conducted themselves. They saw what they were willing to do. And to a man, everybody in that interview was saying like, now we know the commitment and what it takes. Like these guys weren't here to roll us or do anything. They were here to do a fucking job. And they were prepared to do whether you were Mike Bossy or Trache, or I don't even know, like one of the Sutters on the third, fourth.
Dwayne and Brett were on that team, yeah.
Yeah, everybody did their job and everybody was committed to winning. It's not about stats. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about we are here to win the Stanley Cup. We know what it takes, and we're going to do everything we can to do it. And until you're there, I don't know if you know what it takes.
It's astonishing, David. What boggles my mind is that there's I would hope. I mean, we pretend to be the smartest men in the room all the time, and everything else when it comes to sports and what goes on, the ins and outs of a franchise. But what's astonishing, there is probably, like in the NHL, there's probably 20 to 22 teams that know they're not winning the Stanley Cup. They want to get close, win a round or two, and they know that. Baseball is probably less. Football is probably even less. There's probably only 5 teams in football throughout the year. At what point does it, like if you thought you had a chance when the season started, at what point do you go, fuck, this ain't working, man. This isn't what we dreamed. This isn't what we dreamt up. This isn't the money that our owners paid out. This isn't what we thought. Like when does it go sideways for a franchise going, oh, fuck? Because the Winnipeg Jets have been close on paper for a long time. And now it's just like, what? They're blowing things up. Like you just wonder when it gets to that point.
Well, it's funny you say the Jets. I was thinking the Flames, right? Because
they're real close.
They were real close, but they weren't before Sutter, right? And they didn't change their team with any. They didn't have massive wholesale changes. It was basically the same lineup with a couple pieces, but now the coach knew how to work that talent and how to do it. And then so what do you do if you're the Flames? Like we thought we were close and we weren't, but then we fired the coach and we got a good coach, and we were close until the playoffs happened, and then we fucking stepped on our dicks.
Then the goaltender failed us and everything else, and then they got stomped on by Edmonton. We all
and so now it's like, so what do you do if you're them going forward next year? Like, well, and also they still have to sign Goudreau, and if you don't sign Goudreau, what are we going to do with Tkachuk and blah blah blah? There's so many questions, but the Flames are like a good team. If you're a team that's in rebuild mode, but some teams, Columbus, Anaheim, well, like they're not, I'm not going to say Anaheim or those California teams, because they were all three, Anaheim, the Kings, and the Sharks were legitimate
for a long time,
for 5 to 10 years. And in hockey, that window seems to stay open a little bit longer than any other sport. Well, any other sport, because free agency in basketball, same with in baseball. How long is this pitcher that you've been riding for 5 years? Now he's going to go down a bit, like Kershaw. Like the Dodgers are still great, and Kershaw's a great pitcher, but he's not the same pitcher he was 5 years ago. When do you make that?
He's 3 years removed from being great.
Right.
He's serviceable. He's a little more than serviceable.
He's far above average.
Yeah.
But he ain't a stud no more.
No. Like speaking of the Flames, Dave, and I was thinking this the other day. I don't know why. I mean, my life kind of is odd and different right now. But do you think that Matthew Tkachuk wants Johnny Gaudreau to sign, or is he like, if this guy don't sign, I'm gonna get fucking paid by Calgary because they're not getting rid of both of us?
It's funny, right?
You know what I mean?
Because when his brother in Ottawa there was going through his thing, and Tkachuk was saying, the Calgary Tkachuk was saying, this is a business. This is a business, and we got each other's backs. And at the end of the day, we're here to get paid.
Because you got now with the way contracts are and the way players are, but if NHL, you guys don't play till they're 40 anymore unless you're Patrick Maroon or Corey Perry, which is few and far between, man. You got an 8-year earning span, and you got to get as much as you can. And I just wonder what like how much of a team guy Tkachuk really is when he needs a paycheck, man. And if he can get it in Calgary, he's going to take it.
And when we say need, right? Like they were.
Well, they don't need. He wants. He wants. Sorry, that's one way to do it.
Right. And it's just a thing in professional sports. Like, what do you need and what do you want? And is it a matter of disrespect for playing less, for playing for less? With any professional sport, like I hang with players like that. Like in hockey, they make a portion of what.
I wouldn't even say a portion.
NBA guys.
Minuscule amounts.
It's almost embarrassing how much less paid the NHL guys are than other professional athletes. But it's the nature of the game, right? Like money and TV drives how much money there is for you guys. When I say you guys, I mean the players, and this is the reality of the sport you're playing. But at the end of the day, $8 million a year. I'm working for a lot fucking less than that, and I'm living an okay life.
Yeah, it's just different. It's just weird how it works out. 1420 Sports Podcast. I'm here at Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge. Lethbridge Bulls, Fort McMurray Giants. It's 8-8 in the I think it's the 5th now. Man, this game's dragging on. It's a nice day out here. Dave, give me your 14-20 guaranteed. Who do you got winning tonight? Tampa Bay, Colorado. Is the cup coming out? Is the cup being shown? What's going on?
They're bringing out the cup for the first time. There is going to be a visiting team raising the Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay, whatever the fuck, Keystone, Suntropic, Superdome. I don't know what their barn is called down there in Tampa. Colorado is going to have a fun night in sunny FLA.
Man, there's probably no better place. There's probably a few like Vegas or LA or something. But I tell you what, those Colorado Avalanche, if they pull one off tonight, win the Stanley Cup, they'll have a good time in sunny Florida. Or do they get on a plane and go home and enjoy it with their fans? Okay,
exactly.
There's a question. What's your go-to move? If you're the GM, captain, coach, what's your go? Like, what has Joe Sakic got planned tonight? If the Stanley Cup's awarded to the Colorado Avalanche, what's the go-to move?
We're partying in the arena all night. Do whatever you want in the arena, in the hotel. Do not leave. We're gonna get on the plane at. Here's the thing: the charter. If they lose, they're on the plane at 10 o'clock in the morning. If they win, the plane leaves at 2:30. But don't go fucking around. Don't go out and get lost, and don't go and do some kind of goofy ass shit out in Tampa.
Let's got Colorado
our asses. Yeah, I got Colorado winning tonight because they got to be determined, and I think they're going to do it. That Kemper's playing well. He's playing well. He's not the reason
why this is going back.
He's correct. And Colorado is still up 3-2, right? Like they're the team that has the chance to hoist that cup tonight, and they know how important it is. I don't think they're gripping the sticks too tight. They could have won on back on home ice, but they didn't. Yeah. But it was an overtime, and that's just like bounces happen. I think that Colorado does not want to play a game 7. I know they don't want to play game 7. They're going to be ready to play tonight. I think Colorado comes home with a hangover on tomorrow morning. Tomorrow mid-afternoon.
They're sitting at Herb's on Tuesday afternoon for some beverage afterwards. Many years ago.
Couple bevies, couple edibles. As soon as they get into the Colorado airspace, they can have their THC.
And do you remember Herb's? Remember going there?
Of course, I remember Herb's.
Kent Noni.
Oh yeah,
Herb's a good spot in Denver. I got to hashtag them or reach out to Herb's because that was a great spot a lot of years ago. We broke a couple rules and laws years ago, but we had a good time at Herb's. I don't know if it's still around. I was there
We had a lot of fun. I
had
smoked
a
a
lot of
joint
fun.
with some guys in the back patio there.
There's a guy we won't mention, but somehow, some way, we brought in a box of Coors Original or Coors Light into the bar. I don't know how. I know how we got it, but I won't say how we got it into the bar. But it was a really good time. Herbs, if you guys still alive, still kicking after everything else for all these years, we'll give you a shout out and everything else, because Herbs was a really, really good time. We had a really good time in that spot.
That was
That's
the
a lot of
best
years
night
ago.
of the trip. You bet that was
Jesus, Herbs.
25, 30 years ago, but nonetheless,
Fuck.
it was an awesome time. I remember very clearly a lot of points in that trip, and
But
the
Herbs stood
Herbs
out.
night was a highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that was the best single night we had.
that was. We had some ups and downs, but Herbs definitely brought the highlights to an effect. We forget about the lowlights. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Podcast partnered up with Manscaped, leader in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped sent Dave and I the Performance Package 4.0. It's ultimate men's hygiene. 4 million people. That's around 8 million balls. Can't be wrong. Man, it's time to change the way you take care of your boys. Go to manscaped.com and 20% and free shipping by using promo code 1420SCAPE. That's 1420SCAPE at manscaped.com today. As of right now, Dave, we have 10 days left. I think it is 11 days with our promo code 1420SCAPE. Hopefully become a full-time sponsor of ours and theirs and everything else, and partnership continues. But right now, let's just make sure you guys go. If you guys take care of the boys, you'll take care of the boys. How's that sound?
That I love the way you just phrased that. Let's
There we
take
go.
care of each other, and taking care of the boys is important too.
There we go. The 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more live here at Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge, Alberta. This segment brought to you by Fans Edge and fansedge.com. Make sure you guys go to Fans Edge for all of your apparel needs and all your things and stuff that you wear for your team. I'm a bit of a dork. I got all kinds of different things for my New York Yankees. And the more they win, the more things I seem to buy. And USC Trojans are coming up right away here. We're only about 100 days away, not even through the football season started. Anyways, Dave, playoffs are a funny thing, and then a long season like baseball is, you see the coaches, and football not so much, is because the season's so short. But with baseball and hockey and the hockey playoffs, you see the coaches and general managers and everything else. They try to play Jedi mind tricks with the media, and especially they utilize the media to try to manipulate officials. And you might call bullshit on this, but I think it's a true thing. Like, John Cooper's a lawyer by trade and an NHL coach on the back end of things. The other night, when there was a situation with the Nazem Kadri goal, I think it was Wednesday night. There was too many men on the ice, but that place done 150 times a game, minimum. And you see things like that happen. And then Cooper said some stuff after the game, and he got some calls on Friday night. And then you had the situation in Toronto where I can't remember the umpire's name. The umpire was really bad, really, like, he wasn't even close to bad. He was atrocious.
That game against the White Sox.
Against the White Sox. And then the hitting coach was the guy to come out to the home plate meeting and to deliver the lineup card. And he had something to say to the umpire crew. He got thrown out before the game even started. Dave, do you think that these managers, coaches, that they know what they're doing? It's all strategic, Jedi mind trick kind of shit, trying to get officials to turn their heads a little bit and think, okay, maybe I was wrong. Because in general, people don't want to disappoint other people. I said in general, don't, because there are people who do it on purpose, Republicans. But
yeah, there's
people doing it on purpose, right? But you think that they're, like, with officials, they just want to keep the peace, get on the field, off the ice, on the ice, whatever it is. Do you think that these coaches, managers, GMs, do you think they know what they're doing when they get that situation?
I think more often than not, in this day and age, that it is a calculated thing that they do. Because that too many men thing that Tampa Bay was bitching about. Like everybody saw it who's a sports fan. Said like, yeah, technically Colorado had 6 guys on the ice, but
But
at the exact same time, Tampa had 6 guys on the ice at
Yeah.
the exact same time. And Tampa scored a game-winning goal in one of their tainted cups with 7 guys on the ice. And when that gets brought up, it went away pretty quick. Couple things I think with the coaches or managers when they do make it about the officials and how they feel they got robbed is they're not talking about the performance of the team. Every question now is to whatever member of the team is like, what do you think about the non-call? What do you think about the missed strike call? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
They're not talking about the missed play in the second period. They're not talking about this. They're not talking about it's focus. And then now we only have to deal with one question for every single Q&A, and then we're done and we're good with it, which helps. It takes the pressure off the players to talk about their performance. I remember when it wasn't about the officials, but in Salt Lake City when Canada won the gold medal game in
2002.
hockey there, what was that? 2006,
Salt Lake was
2002. And came out after they lost that early game. I think it was to Sweden. And he says, everybody's gunning for us and everybody's doing that. And then after that, that was a rallying cry for the team because Gretz has our back. And Gretz, and like, so all the questions are about what do you think of Gretzky's comments? Is the world against you and this, like that? And it became a unifying thing. So it can be a good thing for 2 reasons. One, you're not answering questions about gameplay, and 2, it becomes the coach has our back and and he's put the focus on him and away from us.
It definitely
And so I think
it definitely takes the pressure off the team in doing something like that, because you can say, hey, like, we're getting fucked here without saying we're getting fucked with no lube, right? And it's just one of those things. And I got to watch my language here in public because we're here at Spitz Stadium in Liverpool, Alberta. And there's she can't be 3 years old about 40 feet away from me, so I got to watch that. But anyways, it does take a lot of pressure off the team when things are going a little bit sideways and things aren't going good, and you can spout off and say it. Like when your team's going good, you very rarely hear a coach or a manager or general manager get those questions asked. You very rarely answer those questions because those questions don't come up, and so it takes away from the players a lot. It just seems like it's funny how it all works. Dave, do you think that they're actually doing it for the hopes of getting a call? They're doing it for the hopes of something bouncing their way, maybe some of a blind eye get turned, because like in WCBL games the last little while, for some reason the coaches have been a little more rambunctious towards me, and maybe I'm missing call. I'm not. I'm perfect in every sense of the word, but it just seems that there seems to be a lot more irking and tweaking and twisting as we get into the season. Do you think that coaches are actually trying to get a call, or are they trying to take the focus away from their team?
In baseball, yes, for sure. Like this, the thing that happened with the Jays and Sox the other day. There's a reason that guy was picked, and Charlie Manuel, I believe, is the manager. Like he sent him,
Charlie
Montoya. He sent that guy out there, and he said, you make sure you tell him how.
See, I think it's different, Dave. I think that hitting coach, he asked Montoya, "Can I go out? Because I got something to fucking say."
And that's highly possible, because anyone that watched that was awful umpire. Like whoever was behind the plate, and from what I follow on the ump show or whatever the hell it is on Twitter,
it was bad
that I follow. It was the single worst called game of the season, and it was on both teams. But both teams are frustrated, and then when a manager comes out and is whatever, a coach, whoever the hell it is, handing in the batting card, get run. I don't give a fuck, because you're not helping us anyways. And then it helps the players, and it also in the ump's mind, they know whoever was behind the plate, he knows he had a bad game.
He knows he had a bad night.
his crew knew he had a bad
Yeah.
night. And and so now they're on, I don't know, high alert. Well, I don't know what phrase you want to use, but they did know that they have to be better. And if they're going to be more focused on the job they're getting paid very well to do, maybe we should do our job a little bit better. Like,
Yeah, they're
or
like,
just do our fucking job.
I mean, they're not making shortstop money. They're not making player money, whatever sport you talk, hockey or baseball, whatever. Like, officials get paid pretty handsomely for doing that job. They're but they're the top guys in the profession, so they should get paid handsomely. It's just funny that it gets to that point where it's just like, oh man, even they're human, right? It's just I've always found it funny, and I've always said this. Once my umpire career comes to the second screeching halt, and I know it's the end. When a guy makes an error, I'm going to run out and tell him he made an error. Because it seems that players or coaches and managers and players are allowed to tell me how bad I am. I think it would be funny if an umpire could run out to shortstop when a guy boots it and say, "Fuck, are you terrible? Like, you're fucking terrible." I think it would be funny as hell.
I can't believe you missed that play.
How did you miss that?
How the fuck
you seriously missed that?
You missed that. You make that correct play 9 times out of 10, and now you missed that and cost your team the game.
I think it'd be funny if a major league umpire would actually do it. He wouldn't get past that the end of the 9th inning in that game, but I think it would be hilarious to see him do that. It would be priceless, I think. But it's
I would have loved to have a hot mic in that lineup card exchange. Like, because all the umps are there, right? The whole crew is there.
Well, it wasn't even the guy who was umping the night before. I knew his name, and I can't, but it was Ted Barrett, who's the crew chief. He's the one who threw the guy out. So
okay,
it wasn't even the guy who knew he was shitty. It was the crew chief who says you're done. So
that was going to be my next question. Yeah, was it the guy who shit on?
Because what's he going to say? You're right. I was really you're wrong. I was really good.
I should have been better.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, what other response do you have at that point? Because now, like, you've had a night and could sleep on it, but the fact that it carries over to the next day and just yeah, fuck. Yeah, I shit on it. I'm sorry, buddies. I shit on it.
Dave, last night here in Lethbridge, Alberta, there was a doubleheader between the Fort McMurray Giants and the Lethbridge Bulls at beautiful Spitz Stadium. Beautiful night last night. I almost had my first ejection in probably 20 years. Yeah, I took some time off, but funny little. I got the call 100% right. There was a ground ball, a guy running down first base. I followed up. The home plate guy, there was a swipe tag, got the guy in the ass. The home plate guy, he called him safe because he couldn't see, or the first base guy, he couldn't see what was going on. We got help, got it right. I got it right. This coach from God knows where, he come out to me and he was looking to strong arm me a little bit, and I basically told him to get fucked and stay fucked. And I said, I got the call right, and here's what we're doing and everything else. Do you wish that kind of stuff in the major leagues would be mic'd up a little bit to hear that? Yes, you'd have to pay a premium to hear that stuff, but do you think that maybe that might give some retrospect or something for fans at home to see what's really going on in this with officials, because everybody's anti-official no matter what. Do you think things mic'd up to say why this happened and what's going on would be a better thing to help out the reputation of officials?
I think every official should be mic'd up. And that way, when there is ejections, when there is confrontations with managers and players, that what is said to the official is on record. And I think, because why didn't you run that guy? Did you hear what he said to me and all that? That's all you need. Oh yeah, you got a little hot because you like to play. I was a little hot. He must have said something. Did he call you a cocksucker?
I think I told him to shut the fuck up, you cocksucker.
Do you ever say that to a guy? I know you don't like running guys, and you haven't run a guy in a long, long time, but when it gets a little bit heated, it's like, do you want to get Ryan? Like, because I'll run you if that's what you want.
No, actually, my go-to move, Dave, is my go-to move is if I gotta watch this shit, so do you. You're gonna stay here all fucking night. And you can bitch all you want. It ain't gonna get better, man. You're here all fucking night. And they're usually
you know
pretty
what?
quiet.
Like back in the day when I used to get in a little bit more arguments than I do right now, and I'll let someone unload on me and blah 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 blah. Are you done? What?
Yeah.
Are you done? What do you mean? I go, well, if you're done talking, then I wouldn't mind a chance. But I let you get it off your chest. How about you let me get it off my chest? And you don't interrupt me because I let you have your piece. Like that was gonna, and like if you're done, you're done. Okay, you done? You want to sit down or do you want to hear my side? And that kind of thing. And when you do that, it's totally disarming to a person if you don't lose your temper, and B don't raise your voice. And
well, see, I have a problem with that. I'm loud to begin with, right? So it makes it a bit tough and everything else. But anyways, no.
I've been.
Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh no, I've been told that my voice carries quite well as well. So that's just one of my things. Like
our voices carry
done.
Dave, our voices carry so well. We thought we'd get a podcast going in August of 2020 to get out to the mass, and we get everything out there so far. We're approaching 30,000 downloads. We've teamed up with Belly Up Sports Network, Belly Up Sports Media. Got 300 and some downloads the first day of joining them. So I very much appreciate everybody's watching, listening to the show. We're going to get more involved in YouTube and everything else. Going to get going from there. Dave, what's your best take? And what's your favorite take? And what are you thankful for doing a little show? We're out in the sunshine, so I'm a little bit giddy today. Something different that we don't talk about. But what are you thankful for a little show?
I'm thankful that we have a following. I'm also thankful that you and I have taken time out of our busy days and weeks to do this. I'm thankful for your hard work behind the scenes. I'm thankful for Jim's hard work behind the scenes. I'm thankful that we have some sponsors.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not doing this for free. We're still doing it for free.
We're a producer for free.
We're doing this for free. It's a labor of love that I enjoy sitting down with you 2 times a week and get this out. And the fact that people are downloading and listening and using our promo codes is extremely flattering. I'm thankful that we're doing it outside. Like technology, when it works,
this is
works.
fantastic.
It's an absolute treat to be sitting outside on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, doing our show for the people that want to listen to it. And I thank every single one of you for listening to this.
Yeah, fansedge.com. Make sure you guys log in and get all your sports gear, everything you need to represent your team, and because I mean I'm a sports dork when it comes to that kind of stuff. When I go to a game, I'm top down, whether it be the New York Yankees or the USC Trojans. Over under, Dave. What's the Michigan Wolverines record going to be in the college football season?
8-2.
I'm saying.
I have no idea. They're gonna lose. I didn't look. It's still a little.
We'll do that next show. I'll be out in Victoria.
Next show. It's not until September.
No. We'll do a way too early prognostication for our teams.
Okay.
A way too early.
Fair
I'll
enough.
be out in Victoria next week for my brother Michael's wedding. Sorry, not birthday. His wedding is next week, so we'll do it way too early prognostication and see what your University of Michigan Wolverines and my USC Trojans are going to do. The 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more.
Hey, you said our voices carry. That was a great song by Till Tuesday.
1983.
I love that song.
Jim, maybe put that one in there. Voices carry Till Tuesday.
And the lead singer, that was Amy Mann, who's really good. She was on a lot of soundtracks. Does some work with, I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson, did Magnolia and that kind of thing.
She looked like the girl from Roxette before Roxette was cool.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like the same short hair, the whole thing and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, but when she had a big long rat tail and whatever, then I get that.
Did you ever have a rat tail?
Never. No, I mocked the rat
Me
tail.
neither. I never ever had the rat tail.
I couldn't stand the rat tail. I thought that was a.
That's
I
today's show.
I had the V-neck. I had the V-neck shirt, but I never had a rat tail.
Did you have a rat tail? That's this show's episode. Anyways, 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. Live here at Spitz Stadium in Lethbridge, Alberta. Scores, I can't even see that far anymore. 10-8 for the Bulls.
And I'm outdoors here on 7th Avenue South. So
7th
it's a good day. It's a beautiful day. Like when we bitch about the weather, we got a reason, but we're gonna give Mother Nature credit when she treats us like that.
She can be a horrible bitch, but today she's great. 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment's brought to you by the SeatGeek app at SeatGeek.com for all your concert and sporting event tickets. Go to SeatGeek.com, use 1420pod. That's 1420 pod. Get $20 off your first purchase, and the show makes a couple of bucks. Get a deal. I searched some stuff out. We're going to New York later on this summer, so. Me and the producer, so I got some sourced some Yankee tickets out here and there. I used the promo code, it worked, so there you go. Put money back in my own pocket, spending money, making money. There you go. Anyways, Dave, you sent me a tweet or a Twitter from Rich Eisen on, I think it was Friday night. Man, I've been having a busy week with baseball and the podcast and everything else. But you sent me a thing about the Karate Kid and this day back in when. Fill me back in a little bit. Refresh my memory what you were talking about, and would you rather?
Would you rather? So it's a 100% fun would you rather because it's all made up. Full props. I like this is I'm stealing it right from the Rich Eisen show.
Kind of like our show.
I don't
it's all made
watch
up.
him, but yeah, I'm a huge Rich Eisen, even though I don't watch his show, but I do watch some of the snippets he has on his show. I find him to be quite thoughtful.
He's good. I like
Michigan
him a lot,
man. Yeah, he's a Michigan man. He works for the NFL Network and he has a talk show there. But so once again, full props to Rich Eisen for giving me this idea. On Friday was the 38th anniversary of the All Valley Karate Tournament in the Karate Kid. That was 38 years ago on Friday. So, and then what they brought that conversation into, what fictional sporting event would you have liked to have seen? So from that, I have written down some fictional sporting events, and I want to know which one you would rather go to.
All right, I'm with you.
We clear?
I'm clear.
So something that never happened. So something that never happened.
If Ali from Karate Kid is there, that's number one.
Well, so I'll start with that.
Okay.
Would you rather watch the final with the crane kick of Karate Kid, or watch the final of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport? You remember that show?
Yeah, I do. I watched that a few times. I would have to go with the Karate Kid because okay. Because it sounds so fucking dumb. Bloodsport's fake. Bloodsport's fake. Karate Kid could have been real.
No, it's absolutely not real. There's no way they would let a kid with an injured knee continue in the tournament. Well, I don't care how hard Miyagi rubs his hands and puts it on my knee.
Well, maybe this day and age, maybe not. But I think that the Karate Kid had a chance to happen back in 1983 or 84, whatever it was. I'm going to go and man, underground stuff, whether it be a band or a comedy club or something, they've been my bag of tricks. I'm going to go with the and I was a man of the people back in 83, 84, going to the all Valley Karate Championships. Karate Kid. I'm going Daniel LaRusso.
Okay, and good for that, but kicks to the face were illegal and they let him get away with it.
That's
So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, like Johnny got kind of fucked there, but whatever.
Yeah, Johnny did feel, even though he was the quote unquote bad guy, but we've talked about how Daniel Russo was actually asking for every beating he got.
We've talked with it in the 1420 podcast time or two, yeah.
So nonetheless, you took Karate Kid. Okay, let's switch to baseball. In the movie Major League, we all remember that one.
Yeah.
And there's also the movie Perfect Game with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
What game would have you rather been in the stands for? Where the Cleveland Indians won the pennant, or I forget the character's name, where Kevin Costner threw the perfect game as an aging veteran for the Detroit Tigers. What game would have been a better game to be at?
You every year, no matter what, Dave, there is a championship season. There's pennant winners every year, no matter what. And when you go to like a game 6 or a game 7 in the NLDS, NLCS, or ALCS, sorry, you're expecting to probably see, after game 4, you're probably expecting to see a championship being won. But every game that you go to on a Sunday afternoon in June, like we're at here today, you don't know what you're getting, and you have no idea what you're getting. And it would be forgotten by a lot of baseball people that wouldn't have seen that game. But if you're at that perfect game, that's yours forever. Like that might, that perfect game might be in front of 14,000 people at Detroit. In Detroit, that might be in front of 3,000 people in Oakland. Going to a perfect game, Dave, that's what I would rather be at, no matter what. And that one's a simple one.
I think I agree with you here, but if you're a die-hard Cleveland Indians fan,
get that championship, man.
The way that season started for them, and if you recall, like how they were ripping off pieces of a puzzle off the cranky woman general manager, and I
fucked this up. No, Dave, I screwed this up because I was thinking bad. real life compared to fantasy life.
With Wild Thing and what's his name, with Tom Bergen, the catcher, pointing out and lay down that bunt. As a Cleveland Indian fan, to win the pennant on the last game of the year, and like I think it would depend on your rooting interests. Obviously, a perfect game, and I agree with that, especially with an aging, gritty veteran like the sun shined on the dog's ass that day, and he got his perfect game. But it'd be kind of like a St. Louis Blues and the Gloria year, right? Like when you're just down in the dumps and all of a sudden you just find fire, and to win the pennant after such a terrible start and an owner that doesn't want you to win. I would take if I was, for whatever reason, an Indian fan, I would take that, but I do believe I would rather, as a baseball fan.
That's a good question, Dave. Now that because I cycled it through my head if it was actual compared to fictional. Yeah, I would take now that I think about it, I would take the Indians game, because to see how it builds up. And if you get a ticket, because it would have been a tough ticket back in the day, because that was like 86. There ain't no SeatGeek. There ain't no SeatGeek, man. Like, you got to go to a scalper, whatever's got to happen. You ain't going to SeatGeek.com and using 1420 pod to get $20 off, right? Like, if you get a ticket, you get like hold it. So the whole event, yeah, I changed my mind. I would go to the Indians game for sure.
And that's a total perspective one. I agree with that, because it would be a tough one. Yeah. What would you rather go see? The League of Their Own, the women's baseball with There Ain't No Crying in Baseball? Would you rather watch the finals of that series, or would you rather watch Rowan Gartner, the kid with the broken arm, throw his first relief appearance
with the
his
Cubs.
99.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Would you rather watch women's baseball in the finals of that, or would you rather watch a 12-year-old kid with a 100-mile-an-hour arm?
I would rather watch the women's final, and for the simple reason we talked about in the 1420 podcast a time or two, I would rather see the women's final because I wouldn't have a vesting interest in it. Like, I want one, like, it's great, it's baseball, it's fun. Like, I'm here at Spitz Stadium today watching.
But you don't want to watch a dog and pony show, a gimmick.
Yeah, but I don't want to. But I also want, like, I kind of feel I miss the days when we could hack on Cubs fans for not winning. Like, I miss that. I miss that a lot. Like,
I totally agree
our good
with
friend
that.
Brad Dersh, who's a Cubs fan and everything else, and I miss having that conversation. I'd rather the Cubs not win. So a game I'd rather go to is, yeah, I'd rather see a League of Our Own women's final. Absolutely.
I think so.
Because I don't want Cubs fans bragging, because for most of our lives, Dave, and for most of, like, my parents' lives and everything else, I kind of was hoping that they would always lose. The Cubs, I always was hoping they would never win. Like, I kind of was hoping.
And
it was great when they did.
I'm the exact same way. Like, I didn't want Boston, like it was against I didn't want Boston to break their streak. I didn't want Chicago to break their streak.
Like, it was
like,
great when they did. Like, that Cubs World Series in 16 was fantastic. It was fun. It was monumental. But now we have nothing to joke about.
Yeah, exactly. So now we got the Indians, what are they called now? The Guardians? The Commanders? The Guardians. I can't even remember.
I forget all the time. And the Commanders, that Washington team. What's a worse name? The Commanders or the Guardians?
They're both awful.
Terrible.
They're just friggin' awful. They're both terrible names. And whatever, just figure it out. Like, guys, you're worth $1 billion. Commanders and Guardians are just both. It's too much a mouthful. You need a 2-syllable name. 3-syllable names are too much. Maybe a good 3-syllable name. Think about it while we continue on. Now we're going to go. Here's a little bit. I got a couple more. This one's totally fun. Dodgeball. Remember that movie with Ben Stiller?
I watched a little bit.
Okay. Would you rather go see the dodgeball final or know who won the volleyball in Top Gun?
Oh, fuck. Both just terrible. Like,
playing with the boys. I don't know what music was playing in the dodgeball final, but
and it's too bad that Kenny Loggins' song gets looped into that awful cinematic disaster. But
and the fact that 5'2" Tom Cruise is actually playing volleyball is a little bit ridiculous to me as well. But that's a different thing.
I gotta go with dodgeball because I'm not watching guys in little shorts on the beach. I'm not taking my time to maybe get sunburnt and everything else. I'm good.
It's ridiculous.
That is terrible. Is there a ghetto blaster playing that song on the side in the beach?
I don't know. And they were flexing and all oiled up and stuff like that. Like, it was one of the more ridiculous scenes in movie history. Like, I don't get it.
Fucking
and
terrible.
I'll never get it.
I'll never understand why that playing with the boys, Tom Cruise Top Gun volleyball scene playing with the boys ever made it past the cutting room floor. I don't understand it. It was bad.
It's ridiculous.
It didn't
like, that
make
movie
sense.
would have been fine.
It's been a joke for 30 years now, 30 plus years now. It's like, it's one of the worst things ever. And then they made a Top Gun 2,
homoerotic
which I heard was pretty good.
Yeah, and my son actually saw it. So why not? Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Why not? Like it's like
Whatever,
if
man.
that's your thing, that's your thing. Like I'm
Doesn't
not
hurt me
here to
any. I don't
judge.
care. Yeah.
I'm just here to point and laugh. So I got two more. One golf. Here we'll go golf first. Would you rather have been there in person for Adam Sandler's final round in Happy Gilmore,
Happy Gilmore.
for once again Kevin Costner in Tin Cup at the U.S. Open?
Oh,
or the
that
final
one's
round?
easy, man. On Friday night.
I'm not done. There's three on
Okay,
this
there's
one.
3. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so it's either Happy Gilmore's final round, Tin Cup's final round, or the tournament at
What's the third one? Sorry.
with Noonan, and go Caddyshack. Noonan, where they were playing, and then the gopher blew up, and then the putt rolled in.
Yeah. What do I do? Happy Gilmore, Tin Cup, or Deanne just showed up here at the 1420 World Headquarters here at Spitz Stadium. Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore,
Or Tin Cup.
or Tin Cup.
Remember when he hit like 4 into the drink and he was down to his last ball?
I would rather have been at Tin Cup because that cat had a chance to win and he blew it. And he blew it in such epic proportion to be on TV forever. And I might get my mug on television. I would rather be at that one for sure because Tin Cup, he blew it. And then you have Cheech Marin giving him a golf ball saying ball, ball, ball. That was an epic blow up of all sport proportion. It's just fantastic.
Take your drop. No, give me another
We
one.
can still win. Okay, now we can tie. Now we're getting 10 grand. Now we're getting fuck all. No,
yeah.
And just to watch that, and he goes, you know what? I blew it. I'm a schmuck, and he'll be a hero forever. No,
you talked about like that. That's a highlight that will
get played. Because in real life, who's the not Jasper Parnevik? Who's the guy at the bunker at St. Andrews?
John Vandevelde.
See, he's a legend forever, right? So it's the same kind of deal.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Tin Cup for that one.
Yeah.
Last one. We're going to boxing, and it's all from the same franchise. Who do you want to see? Yeah, which one do you want to see? Rocky versus Apollo, where he wins the belt?
Rocky wins.
Rocky versus Drago in Russia, or Rocky versus Clubber Lang?
That's a tough one, Dave, because I'm not going to Russia on Christmas Day to watch him fight. And that was the highlight of this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, but we're not doing any of this.
I'm inserting myself into that.
Right? And so
I'm not doing Rocky in Russia in 1986 or whatever it was. I'm just not. Like I'm not. I'll watch a pay-per-view. I'll spend the $90 whatever it was back then. Rocky versus Apollo, the first time or second time?
The second time, because the first time he fought him, Rocky did not win the title. He lost.
Okay, I'm definitely
Rocky 2. He won the title.
Yeah, Rocky 2. So I'm if I can have the chance to go to Rocky 2. And the second time he fought him, that's what I'm going to for sure. The Clubber Lang, it's like Mike Tyson at the end of his career. I'm going to the initial fight without a doubt, or the second fight because he had a chance. He watched it happen. I'm getting the tickets. I'm going to Rocky 2, not knowing if he wins or loses. That's where I'm going. There's no doubt about that.
Would have you rather gone to the first one where he actually loses at the end? Of
I
Rocky
wouldn't have
1?
went. I wouldn't have went because it's a promotional joke. I'm not going. Like I'm not going
because this is a nobody, and
there's a nobody fighting the world champion. I'm not going. But then when the nobody takes him to 10, 12 rounds, whatever it was, that's like the second time I'm going for sure.
Okay, and I think that Clubber Lang fight might be the one I want to go to because the way that Mr. T talked all that trash and like, hey, come over here with a real man, like you're like just the shit that Mr. T talked. I loved it.
He was a dick.
Well, he beat Rocky the first time, and it was the rematch at the end that Rocky got his comeuppance, I guess, got his retribution.
Got the title back, and Mickey and everything else, and
yeah, Mickey died in that one too.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, everybody has to
knock
go
your
sometime.
block off, Rocky. Funny stuff. I love Rocky too. I love Rocky too. No, Dave, those were really fun. I really enjoyed those. Great afternoon here. The game's now in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just off the wall, double. The Bulls have taken another, whatever the score is, doesn't really much matter. No, Dave, fun show. You're outside having a dart. I'm outside having some beers. Fantastic day here at the ballpark. If you get a chance, if you listen in Lethbridge, Alberta, or actually wherever you're listening, go to a summer baseball game, go to a college baseball game. These kids play pretty hard, and they enjoy the fans. And as an umpire, I quite enjoy when there's a bigger crowd in the stands. It's a lot of fun. Dave, my little brother, your friend, William Redlich is getting married next Saturday. So we got to alter our schedule a little bit. What's going on? We can do a show Tuesday. I'll be out in Vancouver Island, but maybe not the Thursday night. Things going on. But yeah, little Wilbur's getting married.
Well, good for you, Wilbur. I wish you all the best of luck. I met your bride on unfortunate circumstances when your father died, but she seemed like a nice person. I trust you that you're making the right life choice because it's your life. It ain't mine. Congratulations to you both. I hope you guys have a great day and best of luck to both of you going forward.
There we go. It's going to be a fun week out in Vancouver Island. Hope it doesn't rain too much. The forecast doesn't look as great as it is here in Lethbridge today. Dave, different venues today. A lot of fun. Good show. I thought we hit nothing that meant anything to anybody, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate us getting together like this on a Sunday afternoon.
It's nice not having a hard-hitting show like our last one was. It's good to sit down and have fun and talk about nothing and have a good time talking about it.
There you go. The 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talking, and a whole lot more, brought to you by SeatGeek, Manscaped, and Fans Edge. And we're part of the Belly Up Sports Network now, which is fantastic. They're promoting us, and it's great, and we get different listeners. Here it is. Take care of each other, but more important, take care of yourself to lead you around. Keep your stick on the ice. And what else, Dave?
I don't want to see Jim swing at any high pitches. It'll be nice for you to see Jim. Is he going to be playing at the wedding?
Jim's playing at the wedding, and his EP comes out on Tuesday, the 29th, I believe.
Excellent. Best of luck, Jim. Is his band playing at the wedding?
Who I don't even know.
Wow.
There's a lot.
I don't know. Does he have dancing stuff, or is it just all?
Jim dances worse than his uncle does.
Well,
but I'm smooth, man.
Well, like no one's watching.
There you go.
Right? That's all I can ask.
There you go. 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talking, a whole lot more, live from Spitz Stadium. Dave, have a good night. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday night.
Have fun at the wedding. Congratulations, Mike Wilbur, to some of his friends. Best of luck, guys.
There we go. We'll talk to you Tuesday night, folks.
Later, guys.